Welcome, everyone, to the Pint and Click podcast. My name is Caleb.
And my name is Greg.
We're going to talk to you about your favorite video games. So grab a pint of your favorite drink, find a nice, comfy chair, and swing into Los Santos Customs as we dive into this.
Doing a little work at the car shop.
Doing a little work at the car shop.
Now, Caleb, speaking of comfy chairs,
Yeah.
I busted out the longer microphone cable this week, and I'm currently lounging on my couch.
Nice. That's what we like to see here.
Yes. So if you get more of a chill, laid back vibe from me this week, that explains it.
Nice.
Yeah. So Caleb,
Yeah.
anything exciting happen over the weekend? Any game releases?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nothing. It's been a real dry spell.
Real dry spell. Real weird like desert of video games.
Yeah. No, we did get a little as the fans call it, Breath of the Wild too.
Tears of the Wild.
Tears of the Lion. But we will be discussing that in a future episode. We're giving ourselves a little time to play it,
Yes.
you know?
You got your cutting edge coverage from IGN and from Eurogamer. But here at the Pint and Click podcast, we're going to give it some time to let it stew.
Yeah, and I just want to say, okay, you know, I we'll talk about it in a later episode. But to give you a little teaser, I just want to say, for me, it wasn't the 10 out of 10 that IGN said it was.
God awful video game.
Well, I didn't say that.
It's bad.
I didn't say that one.
Let's just get into it, Caleb. It's bad. They tried.
Yeah.
They tried to make a video game, but I don't even think the controller works.
I tell you what, it got real weird when they gave Zelda the little glider, and they didn't give Zelda his signature green tunic.
No, they didn't. But I opened up the game, and it did the little intro cutscene. Everyone knows that intro cutscene. They've seen it by now.
Yep,
But then I went to
Link's
control-
shredding on a snowboard.
Yeah, and then I went to control the character, and he just didn't move.
I know, what's up with that?
Ugh. Anyway, we'll talk more about that next week.
We'll cover that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my little teaser for all of you sweet lovelies listening, all right? So be ready for our review where we will tackle the beast, as they say, in somewhere.
Now, Caleb, I don't know who went first last week.
I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't.
Do you want to flip a coin and let fate decide?
It does. You can just go.
Oh my
That's
God,
fine.
you're so kind.
You take it.
You're so
yeah.
generous.
Yeah.
Thank you, Caleb.
I'm like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, happy 21st birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
Yeah.
As a new member of the 21st community now.
the 21st century.
Yeah. No. As a fresh, supple 21.
Ooh, not that one.
You can expect me now to be joining you in our little refreshment roundups.
You can expect you to be drunk on every podcast now.
Every episode. My life fell apart 3 days ago. So
Well, Caleb, I'm going to take the first topic.
yeah, you do it.
Okay.
You take it.
So,
you take it.
Last
Walk
week,
with it.
Run
with it.
All right. Anyway,
Nice. Yeah.
after last week, where I completely doo-dooed all over Pokemon, I wanted to find a game.
You love it now.
I
Is
love
that
it
where
now.
this is going?
I played 2 more minutes of it, and I'm a fan. I tell you what, Pokemon Violet, more like Pokemon Greg's favorite.
That was clever.
Thank you. Help. No, after I just took a shit right on Pokemon's chest last week. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I'm so sorry. This is off the rails.
Left a Cleveland steamer right on
This is. I don't think I should be allowed to have couch energy.
it. No, you're too chillaxed.
Too chill. Okay, I talked bad about Pokemon last week. This week, I wanted to find a game to point to that was like, this right here is Pokemon done right. Now, this led me through, some of the other franchises like Digimon and whatnot to see if I could find anything there. But where it ultimately led me was into the world of ROM hacks. There are so many Pokemon ROM hacks out there, but I did find one that spoke to me, and I gave it a try. The game is Pokemon Unbound.
Ooh,
This is a ROM hack that uses Pokemon Fire Red as its base.
classic.
Yes.
Classic.
So in Pokemon Unbound, you're in the Boreas region, a region that in the near past fought a brutal war with the Kalos region. Now, the Boreas region summoned a dark force to try to win the war, but the Kalos region ended the war by unleashing their ultimate weapon. And then you fast forward to the present day, a group that's known as the Shadows is trying to release the Dark Force once again, and you are put in control of stopping them.
Sick.
A little bit different than a normal Pokemon story.
That is very different.
Very
yeah.
different, yes. I played about 40 minutes of this game, but on its surface, I think the story is pretty good. You know, like I said, it's not the normal Pokemon story. And I think where this game also differentiates itself is in like the customization of both the play and your character. You can make the basic customizations of like color and whatnot in the beginning of the game, which is not something you do in normal Pokemon. And then you have really finite controls over battle difficulty and puzzle difficulty. And there are a lot of other like aspects that you kind of have adjustment ability in the game.
That sounds very different.
Yeah, it is. It is really. It's interesting because it's just overlaying over Pokemon Fire Red, which had none of this.
Yep.
The only option that they left out that I would have liked to have seen included was like text auto scrolling, so I didn't have to press A every time to click through text. I think that's like one thing that modern games that have a lot of text boxes do that I really like. Fire Emblem comes to mind as one I believe that does that. But this game led me to a few realizations. And the first was like, I feel like the more polish they put on the animations of Pokemon, the more they're slowing it down. We were talking about last week how like the pacing of Pokemon Violet was really not good. I really didn't enjoy it. With Unbound, there was some amount of pressing through A, like I said, which I didn't love because it did kind of slow things down. But I thought it was a lot more tolerable because when it stopped to show me these kind of exposition cutscenes, I didn't have to go through the 10-second like animation of getting into the scene. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you, yeah.
But like it seems like in the new 3D Pokemon games, there's always someone like flying in to stop to talk to you. So you have to let them land, and then they have to fly out, and it cuts to black at the end, and then go back to controlling your character. And all that little bit of time, while it is technically like polish on the animations, it continues to just slow down this game that really doesn't need anything standing in its way,
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think, like kind of like we said last week, I think they need more walk and talk, and get voice acting in your goddamn game, Pokemon, please. Because I think the pacing is just brutal right now.
Yeah, I think to really like nail it, I think they need to get Gilbert Gottfried to do the Pokemon.
Kilby's dead.
Oh my god, he is dead. Get him back anyways. Dig him up.
Get him in the AI generator.
We've got enough clips of his voice.
Mm-hmm. We can make a model, voice model.
We can rebuild him.
We can rebuild him, but stronger.
Better. Yeah.
We don't need Gilbert Gottfried to be any stronger.
He's already too powerful.
Well, no, I feel like he was a pretty below average powerful man, but I'm afraid of what would happen if you made it Gilbert Gottfried just a little more powerful.
I'd pay money to see buff Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh my god, Caleb.
Swole.
You can get that on the internet for... So number two of the things that my Pokemon Unbound experience kind of made me realize is maybe I'm more of a casual Pokemon player as I'm getting into my ancient older age here, In 2019, I got bit by the bug to play a Pokemon game again, and I got Platinum for the Nintendo DS, and I played it, and I had a grand old nostalgic time. And then Pokemon Legends Arceus came out last year, and it made a considerable amount of changes to the formula, and I feel like a lot of that did some really good stuff to refresh the franchise.
Yep.
And I had a really good time playing that. But despite this Pokemon Unbound being a fresh take on Pokemon, I ultimately bounced off because I wanted something that was more engaging, I guess. And this just wasn't it for me at the moment.
Yeah, I get you. I feel that way about most standard turn-based combat kind of games.
Yeah. I think I have to accept that my days of playing one Pokemon game after the next are over.
Yeah.
It's a
Yep.
bummer.
You're an old man
I'm
now.
an old man now.
Old man, time to retire.
Time
huh?
to retire to a ranch in Southern California.
Nevada.
Oh, yeah, pretty close.
That was we were pretty much right
Yeah.
there.
And
Nice.
last but not least, I want to give huge props to Skelly, who is the creator of the Pokemon Unbound ROM hack.
Hey, Skelly, show feet.
Show nope. I refuse to put that on the internet. And the best thing I can say is like this game didn't feel like Pokemon Fire Red. The visuals look the same, but it really did look like its own kind of product.
That's awesome.
And to be done by one person, really impressive.
Yeah, any mod like that that changes the whole game and makes it something entirely different is always mind-boggling to see.
Yep, it's pretty wild. Now, Caleb, before we end this segment, I wanted to ask you a question.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you the opportunity to create a Pokemon ROM hack.
Okay.
And I want to know, what are you creating?
First thing first.
Mm-hmm. Yep, naturally.
You play as Gilbert Gottfried.
Good.
Secondly, I think spice up Pokemon a little bit. Make it a little spicy. Give them guns. All of the little critters, give them a gun. One gun per critter. We'll just see what happens with that. And then I think the final thing I would change. You know how usually you get the bicycle?
Yep.
It's too slow.
Lamborghini.
Nope, that's too fast.
Oh.
I would like to opt for a middle ground.
Okay, Goldilocks.
Yeah. I would like to opt for the middle ground of the whole game. You only go downhill and you just have a little sled that you ride on.
No, the whole game, your career only goes downhill.
Yeah, it only gets worse. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's probably my my ideal ROM hack because thinking of oh man, what could I actually do to change up Pokemon? Honestly, I feel like Pokemon is such a thing in itself. I don't know. I don't know what could be done to make me ever actually want to play a Pokemon game again. Because I thought the ability to aim the Pokeballs in Arceus, I thought that ability would make me love the game. But I started playing it, and I did really enjoy catching the little critters and the balls. But that's about it. Everything else about it was still kind of it's a Pokemon game.
Yeah. Now, Caleb, hear me out.
Yeah.
Have you heard of these ROM hacks for Pokemon that combine two Pokemon into one monstrosity?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's basically what I described. I don't know the exact mechanics of it, but basically there are ROM hacks out there that you take a Pikachu and a Jigglypuff, and you combine them to make Pikachu Puff or something. And
Jigglychew.
Wow, that's such a fascinating combination of syllables right there. Jigglychew.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I could say that might just pop in, just run through my head for the next week.
That's good. I want it to.
Yeah. But then I guess they would share, or they would combine their types and share moves or something. I don't know. I've only seen a little bit of footage of it, but it's kind of interesting as a concept.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's procedurally generated or randomized when you do it. I don't know how it works. But anyway, I think that's my interest. I think I want to create something that's already been created.
Jigglychew.
Nope. Okay.
Just getting that in there.
Yep. Well, I'll be using that for the eventual Pint and Click podcast soundboard.
Nice.
I do want a soundboard at some point.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I've seen
a train horn.
Get a train. Sometimes because of my proximity to the train, we just naturally have a train horn on the podcast.
That's true. Can we get the train as a guest?
We can certainly try.
Yeah.
I'll be on doing a remote shoot on location, 50 feet away from my house, trying to catch the train.
Can we get who's the little guy that reviews trains?
Oh, is that the British kid?
Yeah.
I was gonna
is
say
his name Francis?
Yeah, Francis.
I want to say Francis.
Yeah.
Let's get him on the show.
Get him on.
What kind of games does he play? Train Simulator?
We
can talk about it.
He
Truck
must.
Simulator?
Yeah.
Doesn't play train games.
Doesn't play. No. Trains are only one aspect of his personality.
Yeah.
So Caleb, let me hand it off to you.
Okay, so let me first start by saying, with Tears of the Kingdom being out, I haven't played a ton of other things because
Come
I've wanted
on,
to.
Caleb.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Play every game, every hour.
That's what people want me to do.
Yep.
It's what all the people tell me. But here's the deal. All right, I did sit down and play one other game. And then my second topic today is another game as well, but not one that I necessarily played this week. But
same here, bud.
well, there you go. But for my first game, I sat this down. Whoa, sorry.
I sat this down. I told it that there are birds and there are bees.
Gave it the talk. Bought it a car. So here's the thing. All right, I sat down and played this right after I had my 21st birthday little party, little shindig.
Absolutely slosh is what you're telling me.
I wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't. I was a few drinks in though, which made the game that much better.
All right.
But I played a party game. It is 9 Parchments on the Nintendo Switch. You ever heard of that?
Nope.
So, it's a lot like another game, which I think is actually better, which, Greg, you and I, sometime we'll have to play that. We'll have to do a little point and click, little video tour.
Among Us.
And we'll have to play it. No, not that one. It's a game on the PlayStation and probably on other things too, called Magica 2. In that game, you play as wizards, and you combine. You all have the same spells, but you can combine them by crossing streams, pretty much like in Ghostbusters.
Nice.
You cross the streams, and then you can combine them to make new spells that do different things. We'll have to play that sometime because it is a grand time. But 9 Parchments is kind of like a Switch version of Magica 2, and it's decent. So it's a 1 to 4 player co-op game where you all play as a wizard. And in this game, each character has their own spells, or own set of spells, I should say. So it's less about combining spells and more just about combining them in a different way, I guess. Instead of combining them together, now you're combining the mixture of who should use what spells in what game. The game kind of plays like almost like a top-down scroller, like Diablo comes to mind, something like that. You use these spells to defeat monsters, and all the while you're picking up loot and just going through levels. And there's not a ton to it. There is a story. I'm not gonna lie. We were having too much fun just doing whatever with the game to actually pay attention to the story. But I think that's honestly part of what makes this a fun game, is that it's absolutely a party game that you can just kind of sit down with your friends and have a good time with. It is challenging too. We had 2 people running healers and then 2 people running damage, and man, even with 2 separate healers, it was a challenging game. And I think I'm pretty sure we were playing on easy too. So maybe we were just out of it, but yeah, it's a pretty challenging game. It was fun though, definitely a fun time, and it's on the Switch. I picked it up on sale a while back. I want to say I only paid like $8 for it or something. But I think the game frequently goes on sale on Switch. So if you like Diablo type of games, then I recommend it.
Nikhil, the thing about all good party games on the Switch, they eventually go on sale for very frequently go on sale rather.
Yeah.
We've pulled some absolute hidden gems out of the Switch, wouldn't you say?
Ninja Party.
Wait, is that Hidden in Plain Sight is the name of that game, I think?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Hidden in Plain Sight, but Ninja Party's the game mode. Yeah.
That one's a real good time. All the game modes in that one are fun.
Oh, yeah, Death Race. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, you have like the shooty button and then the runny button, and you're trying not to get caught before, and it's, good time.
Oh, yeah. I do think Magica 2 is the better game up against 9 Parchments. So I would rather recommend Magica 2. But Nine Parchments is what I played this week, and it was entertaining. It was fun. It is kind of missing the like combining spells and queuing up different spells to make a new spell, and I don't know. I think Magicka 2 goes a little more in depth with everything. Um, but yeah, overall, good game.
Nice. Another Switch party game that I want to bring up before we move on is Boomerang Foo is another classic.
That is a classic. I have one more party game. I need to get it. Because it would be so fun to play with you and whoever else, and I think it might even be worth doing an episode on, for one of my topics or something. But the game is Dokapon Kingdom. Have you heard of that?
I've never heard of it.
It's this really cool party game. The Game Grumps. Shout out to the Game Grumps. The Game Grumps did an episode a while back where they played it, and that's where I first learned about it. But I like the game for just the game. It's super cool looking, but it's like almost like Mario Party, but also mixed with a turn-based RPG fighter kind of thing.
Weird.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain, but it like as you go through this map, you get coins which you can use to buy better equipment and stuff, and then you have like you have almost like Dragon Quest kind of battles where like you fight some slimes or something, and then you get coins from that. But it's kind of a mixture of Mario Party meets a turn-based game, and I think because it's a party game and like made to be played fast, I think that might be a turn-based game I could actually get into.
Right. What was the name of that again?
I believe it is called Dokapon Kingdom. They re-released it, or it might just be a new one entirely. But they released one on Switch very recently. I don't know what it's called on Switch. Hang on, I'll tell you.
I'm seeing a Dokapon Kingdom for the PlayStation 2 from 2007. So I wonder if might have been a re-release.
Might have been a re-release. Yeah. Dokapon Kingdom. Yep, it's a re-release. Yeah, it's a cool game. It is a cool game. And it's funny because yeah, it's just a party game, but like man, even the art of it is kind of funny. It reminds me a little bit of like Akira Toriyama art, like God, what's the game? Chrono Trigger. In a very different, slight way because the art is very different, but something about the style of the characters reminds me of like Chrono Trigger or Dragon Ball Z. But
it's a good time. I think we're slowly building up a repertoire of games that we need to play on the Point and Click YouTube channel. Turn this into what we originally planned it to be.
Yo, yeah.
Okay, another thing. You mentioned Mario Party. Sorry, I'm readjusting. This is the I leaned forward in my couch, which is not good for audio. Anyway, you mentioned Mario Party, and I'm known in the streets as a little bit of a Mario Party hater.
Oh, that is true. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yep. Which is not to take away from any games that you've associated with it. I just think that Mario Party is, at best, a decent party game, and at worst, the slowest, most boring thing you could ever play.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm very close to being right there with you. We played it very recently with somebody. I can't remember who. Oh, one of Maddie's friends. We played it very recently with them, and like it was a fun time because we were all just kind of talking and having fun. But like I was not at all invested in the game. And especially, and maybe it's just the new Mario Party on the Switch. Maybe the old one was different, but I feel like 90% of the mini games we did were either the world's most easy mini games or it was weird motion controls that the Switch hardly handled well.
Yeah.
That made them not so fun, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I don't have space in my heart for Mario Party. I think there are 1,000 better party games you can play.
Yeah, but, can't deny it, though. Mario does party.
Mario gets down.
He parties.
He got a nice bonus check off of the new movie, and he has gone wild.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What's
So Greg,
the sorry, I keep thinking of just party games, which probably makes for terrible podcast conversation,
nah, they
but
love it because now all these people can go out and play their own party games. Have your own party.
yeah, have a party. Make
If you
some
don't have
friends.
friends, we'll show up.
Make some friends. No, no, no. I'm not bailing you out of your social anxiety. Go make friends.
You heard it here first.
What was the cooking one?
Overcooked.
Overcooked. Oh my god.
Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with that game.
I have a love relationship with the first couple of levels of that game.
Exactly. Yep. Because it starts off so not even necessarily easy. Like I'm sure there's people that mess up on the first few levels.
Manageable.
But it's manageable and it's fun in those first few levels because it's all about cooking and not at all about, hey, let's put you on a pirate ship where every time the boat rocks, you lose your fucking cabbage you're cooking.
Dude,
So
the cabbage account? Gotta
the
have the cabbage account.
Yeah, if only these people knew about the mushroom account.
If only.
Yeah. Well, that's the way you got to play it to have fun. You got to run it like a business.
Yep,
like every meal is a different account you're trying to grasp.
Yeah, you just have to act like people that work in a kitchen. And...
Yeah, you got to play it like you're Don Draper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a Mad Men reference.
Yeah, yeah.
Throwing that in.
Cole
there.
Phelps Mad Men reference.
He is in Mad Men.
Yeah.
He is, and it's so funny because he's like the same little guy.
Same little boy. The same child.
The same one.
I think I've run out of party games to reference.
Yeah, those are the good ones.
Yeah.
Well, okay, actually, there's a game. I don't know how much of a party game it is necessarily because I don't think it's like 4-player or anything. I think
Any
it's
game's a party game when I walk in.
There you go. I think it's a 2-player game, but it's like a roguelite or whatever or roguelike light. I don't know. They're all the same thing.
Roguelike?
Yeah, there you go. But it's that kind of thing. But it's a game called Plates Up. Have you heard of that?
Nope.
It's a game on Steam where it's like Overcooked, but instead of your kitchen moving around, you build a kitchen. You like build your own restaurant and shit. And then the whole game it's the game instead of like the obstacles of Overcooked, it's just like the cooking part of Overcooked. But it gets more and more busy and like more shit starts happening. And it's a roguelike in the way where after each level you get new upgrades for your kitchen and stuff, but if you fail, they close your restaurant and you have to start over and you get all new upgrades the next time.
That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's a super cool looking game. I haven't gotten to play it yet. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's another one I actually learned from the Grumps. But it's a super cool game. It looked very interesting. But because it's a Steam game, I feel like Steam games are so weird to play multiplayer. I don't have a good setup yet where I can like get my PC playing on my TV.
For sure. It's definitely PC is not bred the same culture of couch co-op as the consoles have.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like you do need a big television screen to play co-op.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Greg, take me through your second topic.
Now, Caleb, the Zelda bug has bitten, of course.
Ooh. Are you bringing a Zelda game? Because, Greg, I gotta tell you, you son of a bitch, I didn't bring a Zelda game because I thought, oh, we can't talk about that one.
No,
Greg, I tell you, okay, on the podcast in front of God and everyone, all right, Greg, I'm gonna give you such a big smooch if you brought a Zelda game.
I brought a Zelda game.
Fuck. Okay. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, next week is the Tears of the Kingdom special, Caleb. God. I'm going to get hit after this podcast. No, so we're going to talk about Tears of the Kingdom next week.
Oh, yeah.
But I wanted to talk about the game that I consider to be the most underrated of all of Link's journeys.
Ooh. Is it a CDI one?
It is not a CDI one.
Can it be?
I don't have the hands-on experience to bring that. And I don't think it's that underrated. I think it's pretty well rated.
The Wand of Gamelon?
Yes. The game I'm bringing to you, Caleb, is Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent one.
A Link Between Worlds is the spiritual successor to A Link to the Past that was released on the Nintendo 3DS. This game is the definition of a system seller, as it is the reason that I bought the Nintendo 3DS in the year 2022. And I have to tell you, Caleb, I absolutely love this game. It takes everything that's great about A Link to the Past and makes it just a little more hip, a little more with the times.
I just want to chime in here and say I think that's funny that that's the reason you bought a 3DS, because I also bought a 3DS specifically to play a Zelda game. Except for me, it was the Ocarina of Time remaster, because I wanted to be able to take that anywhere I go, because that is a game from my childhood.
So this is what I'm about to tell you is all allegedly, so the law can't get me.
Nice.
But allegedly, I played the 3DS version of the Ocarina of Time on an emulator, allegedly.
Yeah, I've heard people say that.
Allegedly, that happened.
Yeah, it's a myth among men,
And
but
also, hypothetically, in theory, I was going to do the same with A Link Between Worlds, but there was just no version that ran well for emulators.
Interesting. Theoretically, of course. Yeah.
Theoretically. So I bought a Nintendo 3DS because I really wanted to play A Link Between Worlds, and actually I was just up north, home this weekend, and I grabbed my 3DS with my copies of A Link to the Past, A Link Between Worlds, and Ocarina of Time 3D.
Nice.
So I did end up buying that game for the 3DS because it's just real good. It turns out the Ocarina of Time is it's just a real good game.
I feel like, and it's a game for another day when one of us covers it, but I feel like Ocarina of Time, and it could just be because this is like the Zelda game that I played the most as a child, but Ocarina of Time is not my favorite Zelda, but I still feel like Ocarina of Time is exactly what they wanted Zelda to be.
For sure, it is, but it's also so like it's hard to. I want to say perfect, but I don't think that's the right word. But I think it's for what it is, it's perfect.
Yeah, I wouldn't be afraid to call it, like, by today's standards, probably less so, but at the time when it came out, and even like at least story wise today, I wouldn't be afraid to say that game's probably a masterpiece.
For sure, I think for the especially for what they wanted it to be, story wise and just execution on the game, it was probably perfect.
Greg, I want to tell you real quickly before you continue. I want to tell you a little thing here that I just learned recently. Ocarina of Time was so big and so great when it came out. There was a girl from I can't think of what country it was. I want to say it was something like Poland or something like that. But she wrote a series of fantasy novels, and they became bestsellers in her country, and everybody loved them. And then they were brought over to the U.S., and suddenly people started seeing a bunch of similarities between that and Ocarina of Time. And it turns out that the girl had just copied the story of Ocarina of Time, except for all of the parts in the game that she either got stuck on or was too scared to complete, she changed them to be different parts. But other than that, it was the same exact story. She changed Link's name to Alan, and man, I can't remember the other names now, but I remember Link being Alan because it makes me think of Tim Allen playing Link, which would be real funny.
But this is how Twilight was made.
That's a true story. Look it up. It's very funny.
That's really interesting. I'd never heard that.
Yeah. All right, Greg, tell me about a little Link Between Worlds.
A Link Between Worlds, probably my favorite. I'm gonna say non-mainline, for whatever that might mean to you. Zelda game. In this game, Link is the apprentice of a blacksmith who is tasked with delivering a sword to the captain at Hyrule Castle, but he encounters Yuga, who transforms Ceres, who is one of the 7 sages, into a painting. Link gets some items from his friends, including Princess Zelda, and is able to defeat Yuga before being transformed into one of said paintings. The thing about this is, though, the curse of being turned into a painting is captured in his roommate, I guess, Ravio's bracelet, which Ravio had lent Link, and that gave Link the ability to merge with walls at will. something we all undoubtedly want to be able to do and is not a thing of nightmares.
So are you telling me that his friend could just do that because he had that bracelet? He could just do that?
Well, after Yuga put the curse into
Oh,
the
I see.
bracelet.
Put the little magic spell. Okay, I was gonna say because if he could just do that, I feel like he's probably more well equipped to be hero than Link is if he just had that laying
Well,
around.
that's the funny part about this game is that like Ravio just hangs out at your house and basically just rents you all these tools that you use throughout the game to get to and complete the different dungeons. You know, like the hammer and the little whirly magoozer that shoots you up in the air.
Yeah.
So basically, Ravio does have all the tools that Link needs to do the saving in this game. But for some reason, instead of using them for that, he rents them out and later sells them to Link. So Link has to do all the work.
Nice.
So Link uses his new power of merging with walls and all these tools, and of course the Master Sword, to find the needed pendants that he collects, so he can return to Zelda and defeat Yuga. But Yuga flees into a crack in the wall that leads to Lorule, which is the Link Between Worlds equivalent to the Dark World in Link to the Past. Ganon is resurrected, merges with Yuga. You go on a quest to restore Hyrule and Lorule. I'm going to catch some flack for this, but I like this game better than A Link to the Past.
I don't think that's a bad thing to say because I'm gonna be honest. A Link to the Past, I know it's like a childhood favorite of a lot of different people. It is probably one of my least favorite Zelda games.
I've played plenty of Link to the Past, and it's undoubtedly a solid game.
Yeah, it's a good game by all means.
I don't want to say like, oh, Link to the Past is bad. Link to the Past, again, probably another game that is right up there with Ocarina of Time being like, for the time, exactly executed how they wanted it to be, you know? But Linked Between Worlds kind of modernizes it. They do some kind of 3D stuff with a stereoscopic 3D. They do dungeons that are kind of inspired by Link to the Past, but kind of have their own twist. I think the wall merging system, where you go between Hyrule and Lorule by merging into a wall and then going through a crack in the wall, is like really clever and a really good take on the way they did the traveling between the two worlds in Link to the Past. I just think, and probably truth be told, Link Between Worlds is an easier game than Link to the Past, and that probably skews my opinion to be more in favor of A Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
But the cool thing about this game, or some of the cool things about this game, is like the verticality of these dungeons goes way beyond just like you go up a set of stairs and then you come out in the next layer. Like they do some work to put you in situations where you fall through layers, multiple layers to get to different parts of the dungeon, and that's like a part of that's a thing you need to do to solve puzzles. There are platforms that take you up different layers, and you actively, like, it's not just, you know, taking you there automatically and dumping you out. It's taking you, and you can choose to get off at any point.
Interesting.
The different tools that I mentioned, I think they're used so well, and like having a place where you can go to rent them instead of having to find them is kind of an interesting twist.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
In a lot of ways, this game feels like a visual precursor to the Link's Awakening remake.
That's a classic.
Oh, so good. But they both kind of have that like cartoony Link style, and maybe you could say like Wind Waker is also in that kind of line of cartoony stylized Links.
They call him Toon Link in Smash Bros.
They do indeed.
Yeah.
But where Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom kind of feel like these sprawling sandboxes, A Link Between Worlds feels like what I would call like a choose-your-own-adventure Zelda game. And I think it's very cozy in that way, you know? Breath of the Wild, you can go anywhere, do anything. in any order you want, and I think that's incredible and where the series needed to go. But A Link Between Worlds still kind of holds the DNA of old Zelda, but it just gives you an open way to tackle the objectives that you need to do to get where you're going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that makes it a very approachable version of Zelda.
Now, you gave your hot take on a Zelda game. I think it's only fair that I give mine as well. So we're both in deep shit.
Yeah, of course.
I just want to say, all right, I'm a fan of Zelda 2: The Adventures of Link.
Wow, Caleb.
That is a classic fucking game, and I will fight anyone who doesn't like it. It's a good game. The side scrolling, sure. Is it a little weird? Yeah. But the magic shit you get to do is so cool, and some of the level designs are so cool to see, and like, man, the forests are so interesting to look at, and it's a buggy game. It didn't age well, it's an NES game, but man, Zelda 2, that's a banger.
That is a controversial opinion.
I know it is. I know.
I'll be honest, Caleb, I've never even touched it.
You've never played Zelda 2?
Never even touched it.
Really? I recommend it. It's honestly not as bad as I think most people would say it is. It's a very solid Zelda game. It's a little weird to get used to. Like there's a lot of trial and error of figuring out how to do the side scrolling, the new side scrolling Zelda. But man, it's a pretty decent game.
Maybe I'll have to check it out. But before we wrap up, my Forbidden Zelda segment that is surely going to get me kicked off of the podcast after.
Oh yeah, we will be having discussions.
I want to ask you, Caleb, what is your favorite Zelda game outside of the kind of quote-unquote mainline console games? So Adventure Link I would consider to be in the main line.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm thinking, Link Between Worlds.
I get you.
Okay,
don't
right.
you worry, Boo Bear.
I felt like I
got
you.
you.
Boo Bear. Okay. All right.
No, it's tough because I'm not a huge fan of the top-down Zelda games, and that's pretty much all you have left when you get outside of like the main console Zeldas.
Sure.
I will say, just to throw it in there, I will disobey you for a second and say my favorite console Zelda is Twilight Princess. Beautiful game.
Do know that about you?
But yeah, for my favorite like almost offshoot Zelda, man, that's a tough one. I think Link's Awakening, especially the remake, comes to mind. I actually really liked the Minish Cap. So, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Minish Cap.
That's a good choice. I think either of those are really solid choices. I played Minish Cap up until like the very end when I got stuck on something and was like, why? What am I doing here?
Yeah, I had a hard time getting used to the Minish Cap because it's weird because it feels a lot like Link's Awakening to me, but like, I don't know, there's just something different about it. But I really liked the shrinking part of it. I liked going into the big logs.
I do know that about you.
It was fun to see. Tiny little Link.
Yep. All right, Caleb.
Yeah.
Now that I've used up the Legend of Zelda magic for the week after you thought it was not okay to bring, please tell me what you brought instead.
I tell you what. I thought, what else is coming out soon? What else could I bring up that there's going to be at least something about? And here's the thing. I came up with pretty much nothing, but I did find one thing.
Okay.
Pretty soon here, I believe in a month or two, I don't remember which month, one of these and the ones or twos, we will be getting a brand new Indiana Jones movie, Indiana Jones in the Dial of Destiny. So I thought, what could I talk about Indiana Jones related? And then it hit me. Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, Star Wars. No, but then it hit me. Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. Now that's a banger right there.
Okay.
Everybody that knows that game is clapping their hands right now and cheering. I can hear them out my window.
They all gathered.
They all gathered.
The five
weekly. Yeah. Listen, it's a good game. All right. Is it an old game? Yes. Is it dated now? Absolutely. If you played that now, there's a very strong chance you would not like it. And I don't mean you specifically, Greg. I mean like the whole population. There is a very strong chance that it has aged a little poorly. I play it on PC. Um, and even then with PC, which is able to, run a PS2 game better than a PS2. I should say that it's a PS2 game. But even then, with a PC that's able to run a PS2 game better than the PS2, it is still a very dated game. But it's fun nonetheless. I had a ton of fun playing it. So it's I I guess you could call it a platformer in a way. It's like an action adventure platformer, but calling it a platformer feels wrong to me. But I guess you could say it is. It's a lot like I probably more like it than I'm realizing, but it's a lot like the old Tomb Raider on like N64. And just like the way that game does platforming. And it's very good. The story is pretty okay. It's your typical Indiana Jones adventure of trying to recover something while the Nazis are also trying to recover it. And so throughout the game, you have your various classic fights. You have a bunch of different weapons at your disposal. You play as Indiana Jones, obviously, and you can use his fists. You can use his whip. And they have this is my favorite part of the game. All right, they have so many cool whip mechanics in it. So not only can you use the whip to swing from one side to another, you can use the whip to disarm enemies. You can use the whip to pull enemies towards you, and just tons of different things. And it really makes you feel like Indiana Jones playing the game, getting to do all the cool things. And yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty solid game. Where it doesn't shine necessarily, I think mostly just comes from age. There were a couple levels where I found the platforming to be pretty tough, but once again, I think that stems from just the game being old and having dated controls. But I own the game on PC, and I was able to get a physical copy on PS2. I think last year, or maybe a year or two back. But the physical copy also, I just want to say it is beautiful to look at. Like Greg, if you go on your phone right now and you type in the Emperor's Tomb and you look at the cover art for the game, the cover art looks exactly like a movie's cover art. If you pulled that up and said this is the new Indiana Jones, I'd fucking believe you.
All right, I am
Yeah, pull that shit up.
working on it.
It just looks so good. It very much reminds me of like honestly all of the different Indiana Jones movies. They all had that same kind of cover art, but man, it's good. Are you looking at it yet, Greg?
That's a handsome Harrison Ford I'm seeing.
Doesn't that look like a movie's cover art though?
It does, very much
Ah,
so.
it's so good. And that's the thing, they nail all of the Indiana Jones parts. Like, for an Indiana Jones game, you want it to have everything you would look for in like one of the movies, you know what I mean? Like you want it to have like the fun action and the fun adventure and everything. And this game has it. You have mixes of you have a good mix of beating up Nazis and taking them down to just like your classic Indiana Jones temple diving and like going in and poking around the old spooky stuff.
Now, Caleb, there was one thing that came to my mind that's only tangentially related.
Okay.
Nathan Drake is just Indiana Jones, isn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. Now, bringing that up, I think here's the thing. All right, the Uncharted games, they're decent games. You know what they're not though? Indiana Jones. And with that, I rest my case. No, I don't know. I love the Uncharted games when I played those, or I loved the third one specifically because that was like the first game I ever played on my PS3 and stuff when I got that. But yeah, I like the Uncharted games, and they're a pretty good example of like what an Indiana Jones game nowadays could be. But the thing that I like about this Indiana Jones game is, because it is the property of Indiana Jones, they can do more Indiana Jones feeling stuff. Like, when you play Uncharted, I'm sure I'm sure 90% of people play it because it's Uncharted, right? But then I can't be alone in thinking that there's at least a small percent of people like myself who play it and think, man, this game would be even better if it was an Indiana Jones game. Because that's how I felt playing all of the Uncharted games. They were good on their own and they're a cool story, but man, you throw a whip and a hat on Nathan Drake, you got yourself a banger right there. But
So what you're saying is Nathan Drake is. Oh, let me work on this math formula.
okay.
Nathan Drake equals Indiana Jones minus hat and whip.
Minus hat and whip, and 1940s Nazi battles or 30s battles. Yeah.
Okay, and you know what? I'm further going to go down a rabbit hole here.
Okay.
They did that Uncharted movie.
Didn't watch it.
Me either. Why did you cast Tom Holland as Nathan Drake?
Yeah, that was a terrible choice.
Nathan Drake is legitimately Nathan Fillion.
Yeah. Yeah, or literally anybody. I would have taken. They could have put. I don't know. Give me Biden as Nathan Drake. That shit would still be better. Listen, all respect for Tom Holland. Okay, listen, he can do his own little Spider-Man thing, but don't you be putting him in big boy movies. That's not what I want to see.
Like I know you aren't the biggest Tom Holland fan.
He's fine.
I'm fine with Tom. Like, yeah, yeah. So I'm good with Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I think that's whatever.
Yeah.
But legitimately, if you look at a side-by-side of Nathan Fillion next to Nathan Drake, it's like that is who it should be.
Yep.
And it's infuriating that Nathan Fillion doesn't play every great character because Nathan Fillion is criminally underrated.
I want to take it a step further and say, Mark Wahlberg, what the fuck were they thinking? That's not a good choice. Listen, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch all day long, okay? But because he's supposed to play Victor Sullivan, isn't he?
I don't even know.
I'm pretty sure that's who he's supposed to play. I'm gonna be an idiot if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure that's who he's supposed to play. And that is a terrible choice for me. That is the wrong choice for me personally. Because I don't even know who could have played Sullivan. But you know who actually probably could have done it and done it well? I can't think of the dude's name. But he was the voice of Mr. Krabs, and then he was the partner for the robot cop in Detroit Become Human.
The voice of Mr. Krabs, not who I thought you were going to.
Hang on, wait. I got to look at a picture of him. Then I got to look at a picture of Sully, because it's been a while since I've seen both people. God damn it.
Clancy Brown, is that?
I typed in voice Krabs. Hang on. Voice of Mr. Krabs. Okay. Yeah, Clancy Brown. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's who I was thinking of. Yeah, he looks good. Now, hang on. Now, let me type in Victor Sullivan.
I can't even believe you remembered Sully's first name.
Oh, man. I know. Yeah, you know what? Fuck you. I'm right. That's a good comparison.
Hey, I was agreeing.
He could have played him.
Calm down. I was agreeing.
Well, because not only, I know he doesn't necessarily look a ton like him, but he definitely has that rough voice to voice him. You know what I mean?
And they look close enough alike. Like, they look more... Okay, compare. Let's compare.
Mark
Who
Wahlberg?
looks more like Victor Sullivan? Clancy Brown or Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah.
That's the thing that pisses people off about freaking video game movies. And it's the same thing with even Chris Pratt in the Mario movie. Like, we just cast for star power.
Yeah.
It would be so much better. It'd be, like, so much cooler to see these characters brought to life in ways that actually look like the characters on the screen or in the game than it would be just to see like because no one outside of a Hollywood exec room cares to see Mark Wahlberg on the goddamn screen playing a character.
Yeah.
Or this character, rather.
Yeah, well, what makes me more not okay with it is, hang on, I'm looking at a screenshot. Yeah, They did it. They did him so wrong. Because Mark Wahlberg, I'm looking at a couple comparison photos online, and he does kind of look like a young Victor Sullivan, which, you know what, I didn't completely realize that the movie was supposed to have a younger Victor Sullivan, which, you know what, in that case, Mark Wahlberg, not the worst suggestion, but even then, they did him wrong. In the movie, he just doesn't look good. Oh, yeah, I don't know. But if they're going for yeah, if they made which I don't know why they didn't make a movie with adult Nathan Drake and old Victor Sullivan. Because yeah, use Nathan Fillion and use the voice of Mr. Krabs. I already forgot his name.
Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown, and bam, you have yourself the perfect Nathan Drake and Victor Sullivan.
It's so good. It's just like, have you seen the Uncharted fan movie? It wasn't a full movie, but like on YouTube, there is an Uncharted fan short movie.
I don't think I have.
Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake, and it's like it's pitch perfect because they look alike and they sound alike because I can't remember the voice actor of Nathan Drake. Nolan North.
Nolan North, yep.
Nolan North and Nathan Fillion sound very alike.
You know what? Wait, can I raise you a point? Why not just use Nolan North?
Well, Nolan
he
North
looks
is a
like
voice
him.
actor. I don't know how much of like a screen and stage actor Nolan North is.
I don't know. I feel like nowadays with voice acting, you still have to be just as expressive as you would be as a normal actor, because now they do like mocapping for face and facial animations and shit. Like, I don't know. I think he might have been able to do it. And he looks like Nathan Drake.
No, he definitely does. I will not argue that point. But like, yeah, either way, like, I don't know. I guess I'm talking a lot of shit for someone who hasn't seen the Uncharted movie, but like on face value,
no, this is what we are now, Greg. We're just taking on the Half in the Bag series now. So that's us.
Pardon me?
You know, the guys, the funny dudes of Red Letter Media.
Oh, I am not. I am familiar by name only.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're the dudes. They talk about movies. Pretty much, I'm to my knowledge, all of the episodes I've seen, they mostly just shit on movies.
Yeah.
So here we are, Greg. We're doing it too.
Yeah, but the good part about it is I have zero like bona fides to stand on as a movie critic. I barely even watch movies.
Oh, so according to the internet, Nolan North thought he was too old to play Nathan Drake in the Uncharted film, because I guess he was 51 at the time of shooting.
Well, yeah, and Nathan Fillion's not much younger.
Yeah, but even then, like, who fucking cares? Harrison Ford is playing Indiana Jones at the age of 80 years old in this new movie.
God love him.
So I'm just saying.
Another quick movie tangent. God love Harrison Ford.
I do love Harrison Ford. He didn't kill his wife. That's The Fugitive. He didn't do it.
Pardon me?
You never seen The Fugitive?
No.
God, Greg, we cannot be a movie review channel.
No.
You're really slacking here, man.
I was worried that there was something about Harrison Ford killing his wife.
No, it's The Fugitive. That's the whole plot. He's framed for killing his wife, and then he runs from the law. It's kind of like Rambo, except he doesn't get a bow and start killing the law enforcement. So, anyways,
Caleb,
yeah,
we've gone on. That was the Pint and Click official movie
rant.
And I think that just about puts a bow on this week.
Yeah, I think it does as well. I think, you know what though, this does raise the point. I think some week we should just come in and just do movies, or specifically like movies and TV. I think that'd be a fun week.
Pint and Click whoops all movie.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, this has been a good time, a decent time, yeah, an okay time, honestly. Yeah,
it was a time.
It was, yeah. Well,
we did it.
It was something. Anyways, thank you everyone for tuning in to this week's episode of the Pint and Click podcast. If you liked what you heard, why don't you give us a little like, maybe a subscribe, maybe click the follow button, maybe share us with some friends, share us with one friend, a friend, find one friend.
Get your party together. I told you earlier in the episode, I'm not accepting your social anxiety for any excuses anymore.
Yeah,
Make
find
friends,
some people, man.
Have a party, put the podcast on.
Put the podcast on. put the podcast on. Maybe do that pre-party while you're prepping for the party, because if the party's going on while we're talking, it's probably going to be a loud, confusing mess.
Caleb,
And
I am the life of the party.
that's true too. We are the lives of the party, both of us. We party. Mario parties.
Nope. You misunderstood me.
Okay.
I am the life of the party.
Greg sometimes parties. But anyways, yeah, so share us with a friend. Tell somebody about us. And hey, we'll see all of you people next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.